royalty. That's just a woman you treat like more things. They pull out them foreign things. Came up, so my brothers, I never changed up. Keep it real, stick around, but keep that thing up.
The first thing I'm going to do is create the waistbands for the front and the back. Now I'm just going to create a uniform split and create 12 segments because my pleats are small. You can do less segments if you have larger pleats. Now I'm going to create the pleats, and each fold is going to be the size of one segment. So the whole pleat needs to be 3 times the size of one segment. You'll see right here what I'm talking about. I'm going to divide the pleat into 3 sections. To do that, we're going to select both sides of the fabric, right click, and select offset as internal line along curved. And then we're going to create the number of offsets we want. Okay, now that I created the 3 sections, I need to add points to the intersection. So you'll click the line, right click it, and select add point to intersection. And that creates points where we have our lines. Now we're going to fold the pleats. Now we're going to sew the outside of the pleat we're actually going to sew it to the top. I sewed it to the bottom there, but we're going to sew it to the top of the waistband. Now we're going to create the same pleat by copy and pasting. And we're going to create 12 of these. Well, 11. I did 12 here, but I actually deleted one and decided to do 11. Now I'm highlighting and I'm going to distribute horizontally. And it's at -45 right now because they're stacked on each other, but when we put it to 25, they spread out. Now I'm going to sew the pleats. Each one I'm going to sew to the top of the waistband. Because this is only the front of the skirt. I'm going to create the pleats for the back. Now, before you stimulate this, you should actually move it closer to the model. Now I'm going to copy and paste. This is for the back of the skirt. I'm just going to repeat the same process that I did for the front. I'm going to do it for the back. Now I'm going to select, you should select all the pleats, not just the back, and right click and then click instant pattern. That was a mistake on my behalf, but not a big deal. But select all the pleats and then click instant pattern, and that will just make whatever you do on one pleat, it would apply to all of them, so you don't have to do them each individually. Like now I'm creating another internal line that is going to sew to the pleats, and you'll see in a moment. Now this is where the instance pattern will come into play. So when I click one of the pleats and create another internal line, it will apply to each pleat, not just one. But for the top half is only going to apply to one because I didn't select that. And make sure you don't press extend. But now you see how it applied to each pleat. But for the top, I have to do it individually. I mean, I can always highlight, right click, and then select instance pattern, but I'm just showing you, you can do it individually. But if you want to save time, highlight it, right click, and select instant pattern. Now, also highlight it and turn off your instant pattern when you're done. It's going to say remove linked editing. When you highlight it and right click, it's going to say remove linked editing. Now I'm just sewing that internal line that we created on the band. I'm sewing it to the internal line that we now created on the pleats. Now we're just going to sew the pleats together so we can make a skirt and it won't look like tassels anymore. And after this step, I actually did it all the way at the end of the video, but the bands I put on top of the pleats. And if you watch to the end of the video, you'll see how I did that. After I applied the color. It looks cute like this, but I wanted the bands on the outside, so I changed that at the end. And this is where I took the bands and put them on the outside of the skirt. And that is the end of this video. That's how I created this pleated skirt. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video. Leave a comment if you want to see anything specific or if you have any questions about this video. But thank you for watching.